Hello and welcome, sports fans. Justin Tierney here on the Cheap Seats on WLCN 96.3. Here bringing some Saturday sports talk to you at the Christian Village in Lincoln. Joined this morning by Jake, the furniture guy, Johnston.
Good morning.
And right now we've got Julie King, the assistant director here at the Christian Village. Julie, thanks for having us out today. Thanks for being our gracious host. We're going to talk. Coach Neil Alexander is in the building. We're going to talk about last night's game against Springfield Southeast. We're also going to talk some Illinois basketball, maybe a little football, so stay tuned here on 96.3 WLCN. Julie, let's start with you.
Sure.
Why don't you first tell us what are some reasons that people would consider a move to the Christian Village?
Well, I'd like to say it's because I'm here, but that would only work for my husband. I'd like to tell people that we have maintenance-free independent living, so you've got all of the freedom with none of the aggravation. And then we have short-term therapy for people going to the hospital, going to have a knee replacement, hip replacement, recover from some sort of surgery. They can come here, use their Medicare, get their therapy, and go back home safely. And then finally, we have long-term care, and we also specialize in dementia care for people who have memory deficit, like Alzheimer's.
Okay, gotcha. And I guess in the position of someone who's getting ready to make a decision about long-term care and things of that nature,
Sure.
Just as some tips, what are some ways that you can kind of evaluate a nursing home? What would be some ways to tell if a nursing home is a good fit?
Go there. And go there on different hours. Don't just come during normal business hours when everybody's at their best. Mm-hmm. Go after hours. Ask people that you know. Have you ever had a loved one in a particular nursing home? If so, what was your experience? Was it a good one overall? Did you not have a good experience overall? And I emphasize overall because it's like any other place that you go. You're going to have great days. You're going to have average days, and maybe you're going to have not a great experience once or twice, but overall, how was it? Did I get good care? Did I feel like my loved one was safe, well cared for, and loved? And then finally, you can go to Medicare.gov on the internet, and that will give you the most recent surveys that they've had. We all have to go through a state survey where a team comes in and goes from top to bottom, inside and out, to make sure that we are providing the care that we have said that we provide. And look and see what they said, because they are definitely, what do I want to say? They're not vested in us personally. Mm-hmm. So they're going to be pretty objective when they look at us.
It's always good to have an objective resource, somebody who's not playing favorites or
exactly.
things like that. Do you have any community events planned the next couple months other than, of course, hosting the Cheap Seats?
Yeah, well, and that's the best. Actually, we do. February 23rd at 1:30, we'd like to invite everybody to a program called Nutrition Advice You Can Take to Heart. We have a registered dietitian that works for us, Catherine Rosner. She'll be discussing heart health and your diet. She'll give you some simple tips to help keep your heart healthy. And the first 10 people to register will win a gift. So call 732-2189 and save your spot, and we hope to see people there. And then on March 20th at noon, Pam Hill, our memory care director, will be at the Oasis Senior Center. And she'll be talking to folks about caring for someone with dementia. So please register for this event as well.
All right. And anybody who wants more information about the Christian Village can go to www.thechristianvillage.org or call 732-2189 and ask for Julie or Marcia. So, Julie, thanks again for hosting us.
Oh, you're
thanks
very welcome.
Being with us today. We're going to take a quick break, bring Coach Alexander on, and stick with us, and we'll be back. Welcome back to the Cheap Seats. I'm here with Jake Johnston, the furniture guy, and we're now joined by Coach Neil Alexander, head coach of the Lincoln Railers. Coach, not the best performance from the Railers last night. Took a loss, 54-37 at Southeast. I guess I'll just start out by asking you, I have a hunch what you're going to say, but what do you think the difference in the game was last night?
Well, the difference is, that we're young and they're experienced and they're just that much more aggressive. And we have great kids, and the thing about our kids is they're going to have to get tougher mentally and physically to be able to hang on. We chipped away. We didn't play a best basketball game last night, and then we had them, we closed to within 4 at the end of the third quarter.
37-33.
And I thought the kids had done a nice job hanging in there and doing the things that you have to do to get back into a game. But then they turned up the heat, and we just didn't handle it very well. But give them credit. They're well coached. LT does a great job with them, and those kids are very well prepared, and they're aggressive and hungry, and they went right for the throat, and they done a nice job.
You look around our conference, and it seems like every year there's certain teams that the program just has a staple to them. Like Lincoln's always got great shooters. The 1-2-2 is a staple. You look at Lanphier, and they're always going to have great athletes and a lot of pressure. Southeast or Chatham is a team that's big and always physical. Southeast always can apply pressure every year, and it seemed like last night we kind of struggled with that in the first half. They ran that trap, that half-court trap against us, which is something we've seen. I know Belleville East did some stuff like that. Can you talk about handling that kind of pressure and how you can simulate that kind of stuff?
Well, there's no way we can simulate it in practice. You go all week, you know what they're going to do, and you try to prepare for it, but we just don't have the kids that can simulate what the opponents are going to do, and that really makes it hard on your kids to be able to walk out there on Friday night and perform against it. There's different things that we try. We'll put 6 or 7 kids on the floor to try to make it tougher to find people, but you turn your back on them, and boy, they're right on top of you. They're coming with the traps, and the first 4 minutes set the tone of the game last night, and we just we talked about the run and jump, and I guess we wasn't prepared enough, but we were really soft at it and allowed them to get off to a quick start.
Yeah, you just saw a little bit of tentativeness bringing the ball up the floor, and it's they're coming. Where I was sitting at the far end of the court, and you could kind of see our point guards bringing the ball up the court, and there's 2 guys waiting for them, and I can't say I would be very happy to be going across the half-court line either. Another action last night in the Central State 8. Lanphier 67-39 over Rochester. Chatham Glenwood defeats Sacred Heart Griffin by 1 in a very tightly fought game. Peyton Allen, Chatham's super sophomore, hit a game-winning shot with 30 seconds left to give Chatham the win. And then Springfield High defeated Taylorville 69-38 at Taylorville. Another loss for the Tornadoes down there. We talked a little bit about handling pressure, and certainly that's going to be an issue this week again when we face Springfield Lanphier coming up, going on the road to the #1 ranked team in the state at Lanphier. And you kind of mentioned it. If you read the State Journal Register today, John Angelo, a good coach at Rochester, says, "Our worst fears came true tonight. We couldn't handle the pressure. We practiced 5-on-7 and 5-on-8 is what Rochester did to simulate Lanphier." And they said, and the coach says, but you still can't replicate their quickness.
And it's hard to prepare for that, especially if you don't have the quickness within your system to be able to put out on the floor to prepare against. And it's always been that way. It's not just this year. It's always been that way for us to try to simulate and prepare. And they're just they're super quick, and they're probably they're a threat to win the state championship.
And they also, they're not going to have a hard time getting up for that game, because the last time we were there, we won on a buzzer beater, I do believe. So I'm sure they're looking for a little revenge, maybe playing a part. Coach Shanklin will probably mention that once or twice this week, Brant Coyne's buzzer beater from the corner last year.
I'm sure he will. But, hey, Brant's gone, so don't take it out on the rest of us. But no, it's a great opportunity for our kids. And, if you want to play at the level, and our goal is always do well in the state tournament and hopefully someday win a state championship, but you have to be able to play that type of competition, and you need to be able to play at that level. And the only way you can know and understand what that level is to compete against it.
One positive I did kind of take from last night is I thought in the second half, Max Cook really kind of took a little step. It seemed like he made a couple moves, got to the basket a couple times, has his confidence kind of flowing a little bit. And some of your younger guys, Max and Gavin, looked like as the game got on, they started to handle that pressure a little better. Can you talk about just how you felt Max played last night?
I thought he had a good game. He had a slow start, but once he figured it out a little bit, I thought he handled the ball, and he does give us that opportunity. And he's got great passing skills. He sees the court very well and everything.
A couple open threes that really helped us. Got us back in the game.
And he had somebody. He hit I don't know if it was Christian right underneath the basket with a quick
little dump
pass.
pass.
And but we need consistency to where, and that's going to come as they grow older. They're young, but the problem is, you take a look around our league. Our league has got a lot of great young kids, and it's not going to be something that in another year or two we're going to dominate, because that's not going to happen. And our kids have got to consistently work to get better.
Yeah, you look at the sophomore class in Central State. You've got Larry Austin and Lanphier is a highly touted recruit in some circles, and then Peyton Allen as well. Two of the best players in the conference are sophomores.
Well, and the Griffin's got 3 or 4 sophomores that are playing on the varsity now, and they're having a very successful year. So, there's a lot of sophomores that are around the league that are very, very good.
We talked a little bit about handling pressure earlier. Another thing that kind of crossed my mind is that the two teams that, not to do no disrespect to Bloomington or Mount Zion, but both the Decatur schools that we'll see in the regionals in the postseason early on are going to be teams that can kind of have that quickness to their advantage. There's going to be teams that, as we get into the postseason, that pressure is only going to get more and more intense, and as the season goes on, typically the game is called a little less tight. So you're going to be more physical, more pressure, more speed. Is that something you agree with as we get into the regionals?
The officials forget their whistles at home, which I think they've already done. It gets very physical, and that's a concern that we have. But we have to be able to attack the situation. But this right now, this period of time that we're going through right now is going to prepare us for that. We're going to play all the Springfield schools again, and they're very, very aggressive. They're very quick, and it's only going to prepare us for the regional.
Gotcha. Other big plans for tonight? You got a night off tonight, Coach? You got big plans tonight?
No, just going to hang out and not do a whole lot. So
see if you can catch Brian playing on the West Coast tonight.
Yeah, we've caught a lot of them. I think he's getting some time, and I think the schedule benefits him with the how they've compacted the schedule to where they play just about every night, to where all the teams are forced to use maybe and go a little bit deeper into their bench. And this being a contract year for him, it's really worked out well for him to get on the court to hopefully get another contract.
Yeah, some of my friends and I were just talking, and Coach Harmson out at Lincoln High School and I were talking actually, and if you look at Brian Cook's career, this is kind of funny. He has played with some incredible Shaquille O'Neal, Kobe Bryant, Gary Payton, Karl Malone, Dwight Howard, Yao Ming, Tracy McGrady, and now Chris Paul and Blake Griffin. I mean, that's just a list of some of those guys are going to be Hall of Famers. I mean, the most of them probably will be.
Without a doubt. And there's some other good ones in there that
you're
not even listing, and, that's quite of an experience.
That's pretty neat for a kid from Lincoln. Well, Coach, thanks for joining us this morning on the Cheap Seats. We appreciate having you on. Better luck next week against Springfield Lanphier at their place, and then we're at home against Springfield High on my birthday. Now, I will tell you, Coach, you guys have good luck on my birthday. 2 years ago, Ben Brackney scored 43 points on my birthday, and last year Jordan Nelson scored 48 points on February 4th. So I got a good feeling about next Saturday night.
We'll try to get to 50 as a team then.
All right, Coach, thanks for joining us. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back to talk some Illinois basketball, some Chicago Bulls basketball, and just a wide variety of things here on the Cheap Seats.